Boom! What's going on, guys? It's Friday. I thought we could do a really fun bill search. I just ran into the bank, swapped out a 50 for $51 bills. Thought we can go through them. I won't spend forever like I usually do. I'll go pretty swiftly through them. Maybe the first couple I'll explain kind of what I'm looking for the newbies. And for the returning people, just kind of, skip past that. Unless I find something cool, I suppose. Anyway, let's get right to it. What are we looking for? Anything from star notes to misprints to, of course, the crazy errors. Hopefully I'll get lucky. Haven't been so in years. First one, I check the serial numbers out first, see if there's any cool pattern, see if anything like obvious, major shifts, color issues, things of that nature. If we run into other denominations and other bill searches, because this one's just dollars, then I do try to cover what I look for there. But for $1 notes, nothing there. Of course, serial number, overall print, issues with the print on the back, which I'll point out in a second. We've got some 7s, some 9s, nothing crazy. 2017. Nothing going on there. This is not a discoloration thing. My little ring light kind of makes it look funky sometimes. Another 2017. The thing with 1s is they've really not changed since the early 60s. They added In God We Trust onto the back of the note, as well as some other little changes, but primarily that design change. Other than that, they changed up a few things, aside from some printing changes throughout the maybe late 80s, early 90s with web notes. They have not really changed much. Now, they do have a printing system called LEPI now, which will get rid of star notes over time. But for right now, those are really prevalent too, and a lot of people on YouTube do star note searches. If you want to look up your serial numbers before you leave the video already, you can go over to my website. It's right here at the bottom, varietyerrors.com, where I've added a bill search tool. There are some websites that are more robust on that, but I am expanding it, and it's just little old me coding it. So it'll be a month or two, but by the end of the year, I hope to have it a full-fledged usable tool that gives you everything from value to errors to look for, to print runs to all that good stuff. So you just plug your serial number in, hit enter or search note, and it will give you all that info back. So hopefully in the next 8 weeks or so, I'll have that done. Nothing crazy so far. Little wet ink transfer. I know a lot of people ask me about that. Kind of looks like a thumbprint. It's just excess of ink from the front of the note. Kind of cool. 02345. Kind of a neat serial number, but nothing nuts. Nothing going out there. I watched a video the other day of a person going through a bunch of hundreds, and they didn't look at the reverse at all. They just said, we're looking for star notes, and they look for nothing else. So maybe they're not sure or don't know that you can find a lot of cool stuff. Even minor shifted prints on the back can command really good value. So, maybe hopefully they'll go back and look through that stuff. Lots of excess of ink. Most likely what happened here is just they re-inked the whole printing mechanism and the plates and stuff, and so you can see kind of all this excess of ink. Now, if the word 1, albeit backwards, was all the way through the front, I've seen those sell for about $10-15 when it's fully printed on a $1 note. Kind of interesting. A little bit of a fold and weird discoloration going on right there. Not to flick you off with my middle finger on accident. 2013. 6s. Nothing else in the serial number. Lots of that excess of ink again. 40, some 9s, little bit of a stuck digit. Keep an eye out for that, but we do see a lot of that excess of ink. Hopefully I'll get lucky and get one that is covering the whole note or obscuring part of it. Hey, holy ode to how bills are printed. It's a cotton linen mix for banknotes in the US. So when they do an intaglio process, which basically means they just print stuff on it and in it, it retains the quality of the seals, the serial numbers, much more than the rest of the note, which you can see here. That's because, that's how they chronicle the notes and keep track of them. So those portions are printed within the actual threading of the note in the second phase of printing, I believe. And then the other stuff is printed on the note. So that'll give you kind of the reasoning why you see stuff deteriorate as far as just the design of the note, as opposed to the serial numbers and the seals. Nothing crazy so far. 2021, some 1s, some 0s, some 4s. I usually only keep repetitious notes if they are 3 or more, or I'm sorry, 3 or less of them as far as like repetitive notes. Now, if it's a quad repeater where they're all in order, like twos, threes, fours, fives, I'll hold on to that all day. But if you're just talking like a trinary note with, say, like 8 sixes and threes, unless it's in a cool pattern even those trinaries I don't really hold on to all the time. Bust so far, May 20th of the year 9,366. Keep an eye out for birthday notes, actual ones. If, I guess it's kind of a future note if we make it that far, if the world makes it to the year 9,000. But if you find stuff, even if it's like 2035, that's coming up right around the corner, and somebody would probably snatch that note up for you, from you, to keep a hold of, or you could keep a hold of it and sell it yourself to somebody with a birthday. 1717, kind of like a backwards, it's year, then month, then day, or I guess year, then day, then month for December. But 1717, May 12th is what I'd read it at, sort of. I like to keep date notes if they're in month, day, year order, but let me know in the comments if you'd keep something that's out of order. Nothing going on, making a dent in it. Let me know in the comments as we go through what you're coming across in your bill searches lately. I have not done a bill search in a couple of weeks, so I was glad to get back in the saddle and start doing those again. Here's kind of a year note. July 14th of the year 55. Touching on that, I like to keep it within American history for U.S. currency, unless it's some crazy cool date. Whoa! Little bit of shift right here. You can see this is kind of a misalign, but it's more the cut rather than the print. So it's in an acceptable range, but keep an eye out for ones that are shifted where the print's touching the edge of the border or going off of it. That's even better. Those can be worth really, really good money. You can see here on the back, it doesn't really have that same thing going on. I do like to keep an eye out around the intricate detail points, the pyramid, and the eagle. Those portions of the crest sometimes have some funky print. Nothing there but a bunch of teeth marks from the counting machine, so don't be confused by those little marks on the bottom. Lots of 2021 notes. That's nice to see those starting to be the prevalent ones in bill searches. For a while there, it was 2013, 2017. Nothing crazy. Nice print, finally. If you watch any of my videos, I get all the jacked up ones normally. Hey, spoke too soon. Nice free gunk on the bottom. We'll call that dirt and not guess what it is. Other than that, nothing crazy. 2013 series, lots of over inks, not on this one, but on the second digit from the left, so in this case, the second three. It's really common to find 2013 and 2017 notes with over inks on those portions, so I don't hold on to them. If you can make money off of it, more power to you. A little bit of missing portrait on Washington's part. He's been beat up a bit. Yeah, what do we got here? Little bit of that blurred printing. I know it's really part of the design, but there's a little smidge right there below the numerals. However, it's not big enough, as you can see, really with notes, sadly. Stuff you can find with just a small, having to use a loop or microscope generally turns off buyers. They like the big old in-your-face errors, smears, big blotches. Those are the ones that command the most value, or things that are with serial numbers. Those are really popular. 2013, there's that over ink I was talking about, so I'm not just making things up. They happen. Somebody, blew their nose into this one, so we'll pass that on. Nothing to see here. 2021, really clearly printed. I love the intricate detail. When they changed over to newer printing machinery, it's not a change in the design, but you can see just how much ink, the quality of kind of laying down the ink onto the note, into the note, is just tenfold better if you look at older notes. Plus the type of ink, I'm sure, as far as toning, quality of it, and materials to make it, have increased over, 100 some odd years. Nothing on the back but beautiful banknote. Whoa! Holy, wipe your butt with it. Sixes, some fives, some threes. But again, not enough repetition. Looks like somebody burned this in, so somebody had a field day with this thing. I'm going to wash my hands at the end of this search. Nothing going on here except for used to be a bald eagle, now he's a brown eagle. 1910. Somebody was writing on it. I hate that. They could have you can't remember 41 bucks. Come on. Anyway, and they got their pen working right here. They're like, screw you, money. I'm going to write all over you. Nothing going on in the serial number, though. Back of the note, nothing crazy. If you're interested, we got a little bit of a counter mark. That might be... Oh, okay, it's just through the front. Never mind, not a counter mark. If you're interested in the different little marks, the plate numbers, why is there an eagle on here? Why is it an unseen, or what is it? The all-seeing eye and unfinished pyramid. Why? Why are those things here? Watch my video. You can go to the playlist that covers full guides on all things banknotes. Another one of those over inks, so you can see that excess of ink is common. I mean, really, I see them sell here and there for $1 or $2 over face value when the ink, the extra ink is on both serial numbers. In this case, we got the bunch of ones that people ran through the portage on. Usually they're ones that are used in vending machines a lot. They're just so nasty, the reception thing, and now everywhere's got one, you know. Walmart and Food Lion and Tesco or whatever doesn't want to pay anybody to work there, so they get a machine to do it. And by machine, you. Which is weird, because, like, I didn't get a W-2 from Walmart, and I've been scanning groceries there for the last year. 2017, more of that nice, whatever we're going to call it all over it, nice discoloration and all jacked up. Nothing crazy in the bill search so far. 0, 1, 2, missing a few digits from a broken ladder. Ladder notes with ascending or descending digits in the serial number are really popular. We're down there, folks, so thanks for sticking with me. I tried to go much quicker than my normal videos where I do a lot of bills. So if you watch the normal ones, then hopefully you're like, hey, he went a little faster. He didn't just sit there and, well, I guess I'm jabberjawing, but I'm going through them while I'm doing it. 2013 series, I don't know what the heck. These must have all come from a similar person in this strap. Shame on me. I usually do my pocket money as I get money throughout the day. I go to a lot of like secondhand stores and stuff and flea malls. And I just throw all the bills in, well, my wallet most of the time, but also the console of my vehicle. And then I just grab them out and do those. In this case, I grabbed this stack of 50s, but now I'm regretting it. Little bit of stuck digits on this bad boy. You can see how the 7's sitting a tick higher, but you can really see the 1 here. Now, if it was way off, I have a little chart on my website. If you go to the bill guides, I think in a video I have it as well, that talks about misaligned and stuck digit serial numbers. This one's also really close. If we would have had a 4 here, it would have been 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that would have been one of those broken ladders. But this one has all that kind of gunk on it. Not as bad as the others, but that'd make it a hard sell even though with that kind of cool serial number. Some 2s, some 6s, some 8s, and then a stupid 9 got in there. If we would have had a repeater here with 6s, 8s, and 2s, I would have held on to it as a trinary serial number. Nothing going on there. And nothing jumping out on the front. Hard to tell with the damage on the note. You know, that's part of it too. Somebody made an airplane. It's all folded up. Getting down there. I think we got about, what, 5 or 6 left. So hopefully you'll stick with me. Another one of those funky almost date notes. 1915. The day's 032. Nothing going on the serial number. Better print, really nicely printed actually, and condition. Nothing jumping out on the back. Little lack of ink up here, but not enough to call home about. 3s, 6s, 4s. This thing's been wet. You can tell from the wrinkling and discoloration. And I just want to point that out so it might be hard to see here. But there's a little blurring of the green ink around almost half of this serial number. At first glance, if this was like a clean note, wasn't wrinkled, I'd be like, we might have an ink issue or ink smear. But since you can see how no durability is left in this thing, it's all wrinkled and jacked up. This is from moisture and water damage. And so that's post-production damage. It's not going to be an error. 5's in the middle. Another one of those high-sitting digits on the end there. Some people call them stuck digits, odometer notes, kind of whatever you feel. If they're really dramatic, in this case, not this one, if they're really dramatic up or down, meaning we're talking 30% or more, you could then sell it for, I think, a little over face value. I've seen them go for $5 or $10. If you want to go that route, get it graded. Maybe you could get like $50 out of it to the really right person, but it would have to be quite a skew to command a major premium. Last three, guys. Beat up $1 note, Series 2017. Probably still the most common I see as far as series date. K for Dallas, Texas. Nothing in the serial number, so we didn't find any heat as far as collectible serial numbers in this one too much. Got a little bit. At first I was like, we got ourselves a little ink issue. Spoken into existence, but it's actually disc damage. You can tell that's ballpoint pen. At first I got a little excited. Nothing crazy, though, and now I'm looking at these last two. This one is a good example of that stuff, but nothing crazy in the serial numbers. 2013 series. These last two both look like they're water damaged. This one, someone took a bite out of, or like a mouse. Something bit it. Last bill. Really up there, $1. $1. I can't talk right at the end of the video. A digit that is a 1. That's out of place here. This is just a noticeable one. You can really tell how the 6 is stepped up. The 1 is stepped up. We're going to compare the 1 to the remaining correct numbers as far as a degree off, though. So, you know, you're talking maybe, I'm bad with percentages as far as this stuff, but, you know, the 1's sitting maybe 15%, 15-ish off. Now, if it was really stepped up, noticeable, way up, I've seen ones where they're sitting down, obscuring DC. They're way up here, almost touching the C and A in America. Those get really good money. This one being minor and beat up in poor condition, it's going to be a good old doll hair. So I wouldn't say it's worth any more than the face value. Back of the note, nothing jumping out, real beat up and hard to tell if any errors are there due to that water damage. So, hey, if you watch my videos, I got hundreds of them, and sometimes I find stuff and sometimes I don't. So, the luck is with you. I hope that you found something much better, since I found nothing, in your bill searches, and at minimum, I didn't waste a total of like 17 minutes of your time. You learned something to look for, and had a little fun watching me go through some bills. I'm going to go swap them out at the bank, get another stack of 50s for you, and we'll do another bill search in a day or two, unless the good old water bill eats this money up. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you came across lately in your collectibles, coins, banknotes, whatever searches. Heck, if you bought that cool car, first car, I want to hear about it in the comments. This channel has really evolved into a channel about all things collectible. So, let's talk about it in the comments, share it to your friends, and let's build this community of collectors like you and me. I will see you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.